Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and today we are back with another brand new Marco Makes figure, and this time we don't have a Rubbersaur's release, we've got ourselves a Mesozoic Planet release. It has actually been quite some time since we did have one of these, and I am over the moon excited about having a new one because I think the Mesozoic Planet line is probably one of the most fun things Marco has ever released and one of the most exciting things. Basically what that is, if you are unfamiliar, if you haven't seen any of my reviews or any of Marco's stuff previously on this, they are basically the Prehistoric Planet dinosaurs. If you know the Prehistoric Planet documentary, then you might notice this dinosaur, which obviously you can't see it too well because this is in the way, but you can see this is the Corythoraptor from Prehistoric Planet under the Mesozoic Planet line from Marco Makes. And you can see in the upper right hand corner forests, because that is where you would find this particular dinosaur as far as the episodes go. And then of course you have really cool artwork here. You've got a nice forest setting, as well as the species name, the Marco Makes logo, the Mesozoic Planet logo, and an image of our Corythoraptor kind of peeking up here from the side. And then of course in general, the dinosaur right here front and center on the packaging, which looks super, super, super cool. Definitely nice to have not just the Corythoraptor from Prehistoric Planet, but a Corythoraptor in general. I don't have any of that species in my collection. And then when you take a look here at the back of the packaging, you can see again a really cool forest setting, almost like a fall-like forest setting now. And then you can see some information down here on the dinosaur, as well as again the fact that this is a handmade dinosaur figure for adult collectors only, made in England, again by Marco Makes. So what's really cool, and something you may notice right away, is that we have the ability to kind of release our Corythoraptor from the packaging without the hassle of trying to find a way to put it back into the packaging. So you can very easily untie this, take the Corythoraptor out, take a look at it, mess around with it, display it without the packaging if you want, and then if you decide to put it back in the packaging, it's very simple and easy to do. So super collector-friendly packaging from Marco. So let's go ahead and I will untie these and we'll bring our Corythoraptor in free from the packaging. Something else that's really cool is inside the packaging you actually have this, which contained within we've got some fun stuff which doesn't want to all come out. First of all, we have a Marco Makes sticker, which you can see here, again sporting Velociraptor Blue's eye. And then we also have the Marco Makes card, which you can scan that code for more info, as well as, of course, gain the social medias of Marco. And there's that beautiful Rubbersaurus Rex that haunts me with each and every time I see it. And then here on the other side of the card, you can see again that Rex that I was just speaking of, an Atrociraptor, the Lost World Raptor, and a JP3 Raptor, as well as, again, the Marco Makes logo. And we've got this, which is a thank you from Marco for purchasing the figure, and then it says, "Thank you for purchasing my model. By doing so, you are contributing to my channel and helping it evolve and improve the quality of my videos and of my work. I hope you enjoy this model, which was made with care. There have been many hours of sculpting and many years of experience and studies behind the making. Thanks for your support. Thank you." So, of course, again, a really nice thank you from Marco for grabbing this amazing figure. And speaking of this figure, there is our Corythoraptor now released from the packaging, and talk about a beauty. That is definitely a very nice, very screen accurate, faithful version of the Corythoraptor that you do see in Prehistoric Planet. I think it looks absolutely gorgeous, and Marco, as per usual, has knocked this out of the park. And would you look at that, the balance is perfect on it as well. So let's go ahead and jump to a closer look and we'll check it out from there. So starting up here at the head sculpt of our Corythoraptor, straight away you can see that almost grumpy sort of look that you see on the dinosaurs in the show. You can also see, again, we've got some really nice sculpting, really nice fine detail up here in the face, as well as some absolutely picture-perfect paintwork. You can see a very dark gray has been applied to a large portion of the face, basically like the lower jaw, the beak, part of the upper jaw there, as well as, of course, that crest, and he's dry brushed that out really nicely with a lighter gray, and it helps to highlight the detail perfectly. You can see the nostrils right there. You can also see some nice fine detail within the beak, if my camera would focus on it correctly. There you can kind of see some, oh, nope, there we go. There you can see some fine detail in the beak. It's as soon as I turn it to face us that it loses focus. But as you move up into the crest, you can also see, again, we've got some nice designing and patterning up there with a dark red and then a white that sort of outlines that as well. Just some really nice paintwork, really nice coloration up there. The eyes are painted perfectly and so precisely. You can see painted with like an orangish tone, given a black pupil, also sports a gloss coat. And at this point we start to transition to these really nice blues that you do see on the dinosaur in the series, and of course you also start to pick up some nice feathers. And you can see here in the face the feathers are really quite fine. They become a bit more impressive, of course, as we move back here into the neck region of our dinosaur, that very long neck for our Corythoraptor. The underside also sports a nice white tone, very nice bright white. As you move down, you can see the throat sculpted very nicely. Again, the feather detail down there as well, kind of just like you see in the series, some like almost emu-like feathering with the way it lays on the body, and it becomes bigger and bigger as you get down here into the body, scruffier a little bit here as you move down. You've also got some finer feathering as you move out here into the arm, and some very nice, very impressive plumage as you lead out. And look at how good of a job Marco has done of sculpting out all of the feathers and just, you know, kind of giving them a little bit of difference as far as the way that the arms are positioned and the way that the feathers would be kind of sitting on the arm. Also, more bits of realism, like some shorter feathers and stuff, like just a little bit of like imperfections to the feathers, which is something that you would definitely see on a real dinosaur. As you move down here, you can see the hands are sculpted very nicely, or at the very least you can see the fingers on this side. You can see it's been painted with a lighter tone and then dry brushed over with a gray. You can see the fingers and everything over here, as well as almost the palms of the hand, but the feathers kind of overtake that. You can see the same thing for the opposing side as well. The nails are painted with a very nice glossy black, which you can see. And then as you move back up here into the body, again, you've got those scruffy feathers returning here. As we move back into the thigh, you can kind of make out the muscle definition, but of course the feathers are going to hide that a little bit. Down here, you can definitely see the muscle definition there with the calf. You can also see a nice smooth transition to that white tone that we see running along the underside of our Corythoraptor. And then as you lead down into the foot, we return to the skin texture. Of course, we've got that dark gray, and again, it's been dry brushed out with this lighter tone, highlighting those scoots moving down the toes. And again, the nails painted with a nice black, just like we saw up there on the hands. And you do have the dew claws sculpted and painted very nicely as well. And then you move out here into the tail, and obviously those kind of scruffy feathers you see back here into the body become a bit more fine, leading out into the tail. And on top of that, you've got the really cool plumage here moving along the outer edge of the tail. And just like we saw up there in the arm, you can see how nice and precise some of the feathers are, but how kind of like imperfect others are, how there's separation in certain spots and stuff, which again, I think is just the really nice bits of realism that honestly every dinosaur model needs. And you can see that again here. And the bluish tones have been all dry brushed out with that lighter tone, just like we see, you know, basically up there in the crest and in the face, up in the feet, or I mean down in the feet. You can see that we again have that dry brushing technique used to highlight the feathers of the Corythoraptor as you move through the body. And then you can see the underside of the tail feathers looks really nice. And as we move back here, you can see again both the sculpt and paint looks really nice. But as you move back, we transition back again to that lighter tone, moving along the underside, and then you lead up here. You can see the plumage on this side again, as far as the imperfections in the feathers and everything, just like we saw on the other side. And of course, one of the things that I think is really fun about these is the fact that the dinosaur is in pretty much a neutral position, almost like a profile for the dinosaur, just like you see on the old Walking with Dinosaurs figures from Toyway, which is, I believe, the inspiration for Marco and the way he has created these figures. But that is an absolutely excellent version of the Prehistoric Planet Corythoraptor, and just a beautiful figure all around. I'm honestly really impressed with how good the balance is for this figure. Like, his balance is always really good, but like this one is super, super sturdy. But as far as his size goes, for a length from the beak to the tail, you are looking at about 7¼ inches, or around 18½ centimeters. And then for a height, the highest point would definitely be that crest. You are looking at just under 4 inches, or pretty much 10 centimeters on the dot. For a size comparison, There is Mr. Papo T-Rex, the Attack Pack Colovosaurus, Robert Muldoon, and the Collect A human being next to our Marco Makes Mesozoic Planet Corythoraptor. And you can see it's a very nicely sized figure. It is by no means massive. These figures usually never are. It's a very nice, very convenient size for any collection. If it's overflowing with dinosaurs, whatever, still not going to have a problem fitting this one into your collection. And then for just a few random comparisons, we have a Mattel Velociraptor and Dilophosaurus, which honestly you can see is very similar in size to our Corythoraptor. We've also got a Collect A Deluxe Dimetrodon and Schleich Diabloceratops next to the Corythoraptor. And then a little bit of a face-off with the Safari LTDU Tyrannus, which is similar in size but a little bit smaller. And I'm not going to bring in all of the Mesozoic Planet figures to compare with the Corythoraptor, but I will bring in just a few here because I think this is the 5th release now that has come out from the Mesozoic Planet line, if I remember correctly anyway. But you can see the Velociraptor here next to the Corythoraptor. Very similar in size, honestly, but just very much so posed differently. And to show you that scale is not something that we are looking at when it comes to these figures, just like with the old Toyway dinosaurs, where you can see, again, scale isn't really a concern. We've got the Tyrannosaurus Rex here next to the Corythoraptor as well, just showing you that you get absolutely gorgeous dinosaur figures in a very similar size range. Even if the sizes of the dinosaurs should be a little bit different, they all are, as far as the figures go, a pretty similar size range. And I think with the last two comparisons, you probably should be able to tell that at least a little bit. So this brand new Marco Makes Mesozoic Planet, aka Prehistoric Planet Corythoraptor, is absolutely awesome, and yet again, another fantastic addition to this line. I think the figure looks great overall. It looks honestly like it just came right out of the screen here and onto my review station. As far as that sculpt goes, it looks so spot on, and you can tell, as always, Marco really did his homework to make sure to iron this figure out perfectly when it comes to its appearance. He definitely did that and did it in style, as this is one of the nicest feathered dinosaurs, honestly, that I probably have in my collection. Definitely one of the nicest feathered dinosaurs I've seen from Marco as well. But again, the sculpt is super screen accurate, very, very highly detailed, and just absolutely gorgeous. On top of that, you've got some very nice paintwork on this one that also helps to replicate the way that the dinosaur looks in the series. You've got very nice tones of blues, which is one of the, I would say, is almost like the iconic visual of this dinosaur. One of the reasons why this one, I think, stands out so much in that show, on top of the very cool crest, are those really nice bluish tones that it has. And Marco, again, did a great job of replicating that and applying some really nice dry brushing techniques through the course of the entire figure to highlight that beautiful detail that he sculpted out and just generally enhance the figure. And of course, the fact that we have it in the nice neutral position means it looks really, really cool, very Toyway-like, very Walking with Dinosaurs-like, which is another thing that I really love about it. Unfortunately, I believe the first round of this figure is sold out, but knowing Marco, at some point soon he will probably create some more to again put up on his Etsy shop. So I'm going to include the links to all of Marco's social media accounts, which will definitely let you know when more of these are created, and of course the links to his Etsy shop where you can grab that when they are again created and ready to go. So make sure you check all of that stuff out, and of course like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.